Hi friends, good morning. This is Dr. Harinath Reddy. I teach Indian Polity and Constitution. Today in this particular video, we will discuss about All India Services. This is yet another important topic for Group 1 mains exam as well as Civil Services mains exam. Questions have come in the past, especially in the Civil Services mains exam. Probably a question is also expected on All India Services even in the Group 1 mains exam, both TSPSC Group 1 mains as well as the APPSC Group 1 mains exam. So then what kind of questions can come on All India Services? For example, what are All India Services? Why they are created? Discuss the conflict and cooperation between the central and the state governments with respect to All India Services. So this is one question which has come in the past in the Civil Services mains exam, right? So let's get started. All India Services, All India Services, All India Services. So as of now, till date, we have three All India Services. Indian Administrative Service, Indian Administrative Service, Indian Police Service, Indian Forest Service, IFOS. Remember, Indian Foreign Service is not an All India Service. Indian Foreign Service is a central service, Group A central service. Indian Foreign Service is Group A central service. It is not an All India Service. And remember, the first two All India Services, they were created by the Constitution of India. IAS and IPS, they are created by the Constitution. And IFOS was created in 1966. Indian Forest Service was created as an All India Service in 1966. Earlier, before India got independence on 15th August 1947, ICS was known by the name ICS, Indian Civil Service. So after India got independence on 15th August 1947, after India's independence, ICS became IAS, Indian Civil Service became Indian Administrative Service. Similarly, we have earlier before independence, we had Indian Police. This has become Indian Police Service after independence. So now we have three All India Services. In India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was called the father of Indian civil services. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was called the father of Indian civil services. And the reason is Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel strongly argued to retain the All India Services, and he is of a firm opinion that these All India Services, they play an important role in protecting the unity and integrity of the country. So Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel had a strong conviction, belief, feeling that All India Services as necessary in independent India as before, and they can play an important role in protecting the unity and integrity of the country. How All India Services will protect the unity and integrity of India, we will see in course of time. So before that, we will try to define what are All India Services. All India Services are those services which are common to the center and the states. In India, we had central bureaucracy, state bureaucracy. In addition to that, we have All India Services. If you compare India with a country like United States of America, in United States of America, there is a federal bureaucracy for the federal government and state bureaucracy for each of the states in United States of America. There are 50 states. Each state has got its own bureaucracy and the federal government has got its own bureaucracy. So in America, there are only two kinds of services: federal bureaucracy, federal civil services, state civil services. But in India, in addition to central bureaucracy, state bureaucracy, we have the third category called All India Services. And remember, All India Service is a unitary feature of the Indian Constitution. It is a unitary feature. All India Service is a unitary feature. And before we discuss why they are important, all India services, I said they are common to the center and the states. All India service officers recruited by the central government through the Union Public Service Commission, and they are allotted to the states. But they work both for the central government as well as the state governments. So the All India service officers, they can go on deputation to the central government under the tenure system. Under the tenure system. Once their deputation period gets over, they will go back to the cadre state. For example, J.D. Lakshmi Narayana, he is an IPS officer. He is an IPS officer belonging to the state of Maharashtra. In Maharashtra, he worked as the superintendent of police for Pune. Then subsequently, he went on deputation to the central government in the agency of, in CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation. In CBI, he worked as the joint director of CBI. So that's how all India service officers will be working for the central government. They can also work for the state government, but not simultaneously. When they are working in the state government, they cannot work for the central government. When they are working for the central government, they cannot work for the state government. So that is the definition of all India services. All India services are those services which are common to the center and the states. All India service officers are recruited by the central government through the Union Public Service Commission, and they are appointed in the name of the President, and they can be removed only by the President of India, and they are common to the center and the states. That's why they are called All India services. Then why they are important? Why they are important? I said all India services, they play an important role in protecting the unity and integrity of India. How does they play this role? Because in every state, with respect to the All India service officers, there is something called insider and outsider. So there are certain All India service officers who belong to the same state, and there are certain All India service officers who are from outside the states. So those All India officers who are from outside the state, working in a particular state government, they are not loyal to that particular state. They are loyal to the union government. They act as eyes and ears of the union government. If there is something which is fishy in the state, they will report it to the union government. For example, at one point of time, in Punjab, there was Khalistan movement. And even Tamil Nadu, there were demands to break away from the Indian Union. So in such case of secessionist tendencies, the All India service officers, they report to the union government and they act as the eyes and ears of the union government. They need not be loyal to the concerned state government because they are recruited by the union government through the Union Public Service Commission under the ultimate control. The ultimate control over the All India service officers is with the central government. The major penalties like dismissal, removal, they are in the hands of the union government. Minor penalties are with state government, suspension, withholding promotion, transfer. So as the ultimate control is with the central government, the All India service officers, they act as eyes and ears of the union government and can play an important role in protecting the unity and integrity of India. Though it is a colonial legacy, the institution of All India services is a colonial legacy. Though it is a colonial legacy, it is being continued because it serves some useful purpose for protecting the unity and integrity of India. This is what Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel has argued in the Constituent Assembly debates. And what are the other important reasons why we need to have All India services? The second one, All India service officers are recruited. All India service officers are recruited through an All India competitive examination. The best and the brightest are chosen. They are trained by the union government. That's why they are more competent and able. They play an important role in increasing the standards of administration at the state level. All India service officers, they play an important role in improving the standards of administration at the state level. The reason is, in the state government, most of the key positions are held by the officers of All India services. And as a result, They play an important role in improving the standards of administration at the state level. In addition, they also ensure uniformity in the standards of administration throughout the country. They also ensure uniformity in the standards of administration throughout the country. And in addition to this, the All India service officers, after they have worked at the field level as the district magistrate, district collector, deputy commissioner, if it is IAS, and superintendent of police if you are an IPS, DFO, district forest officer if you are in an Indian Forest Service officer. All these people in course of time, after obtaining seniority, they go to the central government on deputation, and their field experience is shared with the union government, and the union government will be able to get feedback on the ground realities of what India is at the grassroots level. So, because of the deputation under the tenure system, the union government will get to know the ground realities in terms of administration, and mid-course corrections can be done by the union government periodically. This is the third useful purpose served by All India service officers. Then, to create new All India services, there was one article which was inserted, which is called Article 312. Article 312 empowers the Indian Parliament to create new All India services by enacting an ordinary law. And then this article says there is a condition. If you want to create a new All India service, Rajya Sabha shall give its permission. And why is it so important for Rajya Sabha to give its permission? As I told, All India service officers are recruited by the union government and given to the states. And the major penalties like the power of dismissal and removal are in the hands of the union government. So many a times the honest and upright officers, they don't listen to the state governments for illegal favors, because the state governments do not have effective control over the All India service officers. Many a times, the states, they don't feel comfortable with All India services, and they don't want All India services because All India service officers are not amenable to the state governments. At one point of time, there was one committee appointed by the Tamil Nadu government headed by DMK political party known by the name Rajmanar Committee. Rajmanar Committee. So this Rajmanar Committee has recommended abolition of All India services, because it is through All India services the union government to some extent can control the states. I said it is a unitary feature. So despite such a recommendation from Rajmanar Committee, majority of the states, they are in favor of All India services because they have played an important role in improving the standards of administration at the state level, in achieving efficiency in administration at the state level. Most of the states, they are in favor of All India services. But despite majority of the states being in favor of existing All India services, they don't want new All India services, because if a new All India service is created, then the control of the state governments on these new All India services will not be effective. That's why they don't want new All India services. For example, in the recent past, 15th Finance Commission headed by N.K. Singh, 15th Finance Commission headed by N.K. Singh has recommended the establishment of a new All India service called All India Medical and Health Service. In the context of the pandemic in this country, health sector was neglected for the last 7 decades by the central and the state governments. Health was never a priority for the central and the state governments. We see the shortage of the medical personnel in this country. In addition to this, in North India, Northeast India, Eastern India, healthcare infrastructure is very poor. So keeping this in mind, to address these problems, the 15th Finance Commission headed by N.K. Singh has recommended the establishment of a new All India service called All India Medical and Health Service. Similarly, we had a report on National Education Policy by T.S.R. Subramaniam Committee. In this report, T.S.R. Subramaniam Committee has also recommended establishment of another new India survey, another new All India service, All India Education Service. All India Education Service. Similarly, to review the environmental laws in this country. There was one more committee appointed by the union government to review the environmental laws in this country. There was one more committee which was appointed under the chairmanship of T.S.R. Subramaniam. So, in that report again T.S.R. Subramaniam committee has recommended the establishment of All India Environmental Service. All India Environmental Service. All India Environmental Service. In addition to this, All India Environmental Service, I am repeating, in the recent report of the 15th Finance Commission, there was a recommendation for the establishment of a new All India service called All India Medical and Health Service. In the report on National Education Policy by T.S.R. Subramaniam Committee, there was a recommendation for the establishment of a new All India Education Service. Again, in the report on the review of the environmental laws in this country, T.S.R. Subramaniam Committee recommended establishment of All India Environmental Service. Similarly, the 42nd Amendment, 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976 has inserted a provision under Article 312 for the establishment of All India Judicial Service. All India Judicial Service. And even Estimates Committee of Parliament long back has recommended establishment of new All India services for education, for healthcare sector, and also an All India service of engineers. So increasingly the committees appointed by the union government from time to time, they were recommending for the creation of new All India services. But as I told, if you see the All India services, they are managed by the center as well as the states under Article 312 and under Article 312, and again Indian Parliament has enacted a legislation in 1951 called All India Services Act. All India Services Act. All India Services Act 1951. Indian Parliament has enacted a legislation, All India Services Act 1951. Under All India Services Act 1951, the recruitment and the service conditions of the All India service officers is regulated by the union government in consultation with states. I am repeating, the All India services are managed by both the center and the states, but the ultimate, the final control is with the union government. The immediate control is with the state government. Major penalties like a dismissal and removal are in the hands of the union government. Minor penalties like a transfer, withholding promotion, suspension, they are in the hands of the state government. The union government has got effective control over All India services, but the state government doesn't have effective control over All India services. And this is the reason, as the state governments do not have effective control over All India service officers, they don't want more and more All India services. But if new All India services are created, definitely they are going to improve the standards of administration in that particular sector where it is created. Then let's come back to Article 312. I told Article 312, it provides for the establishment of new All India services provided there is a condition. What is the condition? If Rajya Sabha passes a resolution by 2/3 of the members present and voting that it is necessary to create a new All India service in the interest of the nation, then the Parliament, by enacting an ordinary law, can create a new All India service. Why Rajya Sabha is given this power? Because Rajya Sabha represents the interests of the states. Rajya Sabha is also known by the other name, Council of States. So, unless Rajya Sabha takes initiative in this respect, Parliament cannot create new All India services by enacting a legislation. Because I told, creation of new All India services will affect the autonomy of the states, because All India service officers are not under the effective control of the state government. They are under the effective control of the union government. So if Rajya Sabha agrees, that means the states agree. If Rajya Sabha agrees, it means that the states have agreed. That's the reason why if you want to create a new All India service, the Rajya Sabha shall pass a resolution by 2/3 of the members present and voting that it is necessary to create a new All India service. Then subsequently Parliament, by enacting an ordinary law, can create a new All India services. So in other words, Article 312 deals with the creation of new All India services. Then if you see the recommendations of various committees from time to time, the first Administrative Reforms Commission, it has recommended to carve a specialized field for the All India Service Officers, but this was rejected by the Union government on the ground that generalist administrators cannot be confined to one specialized area. But even this recommendation makes an abundant sense. With growing complexities in administration, the two in the era of globalization, liberalization and privatization, it is necessary for the generalist administrator like IAS to specialize in certain areas so that his competency level will increase. So a recommendation which is made long back in 1967 makes an abundant sense even today. Then if you take the recommendations of the Sarkaria Commission says the All India services are as relevant now as they were at the time of independence. The All India services are as relevant today as they were at the time of the independence, because Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel felt that All India services can play an important role in protecting the unity and integrity of India. So Sarkaria Commission has made a recommendation to strengthen the All India services, and it also said any attempt to do away with All India services is dangerous and it will be against the interest of the nation as a whole. And that's why it said there shall be greater consultation with the states. The center must have greater consultation with the states in the management of All India services. And it also recommended that the state government must not use the minor penalties frequently without a compelling reason with respect to All India services. Otherwise, it will demoralize the All India service officers, and there is a reason behind this recommendation. So that's it about All India services. I have covered in detail. You can answer any question on All India services. Thank you.